Hello. Hi everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia. And in this specific video, we will be starting our discussion with respect to DA roadmap. I hope that before coming to this video, you already have watched my previous video where I have talked about data science roadmap. So today, our focus will be on data analyst roadmap. सबसे पहले तो we have to understand the difference between these two positions. देखो in data science our main focus is to create some wonderful model which can make the predictions for the test data. ठीक है, तो वहां पे हमारे को मेजरली फोकस करना होता है एल्गोरिथम्स पे, ऑप्टिमाइजेशंस पे. We have to talk about different machine learning, deep learning, NLP based algorithms depending upon what type of data we are dealing with. डीए का रोल थोड़ा सा इजी होता है एज कंपेरेबल टू डेटा साइंस, बिकॉज डीए के अंदर our main focus is to analyze the data. Our main focus is to provide recommendations and the insights based on the data that we will be having. Over here, the requirements are, I would say, bit less as comparable to data science job, and that's the main reason why the people who are from non-tech background, who are from having a career gap, or who wants to really switch to data specific job role, I always say as a fresher it's very easy to start from data analyst, and then maybe after working within few years in the industries you can take a next level towards data science job, right? Now in this video for 2026, if you are preparing as a fresher, as a person who may be having a good work experience in the company but wants to switch into the specific domain, I will talk about step by step what are the core requirements which anybody should have in order to start giving the interviews for this specific role. Please try to watch the video till the very end, because whenever I used to go to any of the events, these two are the very widely asked questions from me कि प्रिया डेटा साइंस के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है क्या, आइडियली हमारा रोड मैप होना चाहिए, एंड दैट्स वाई आई हैव created the video last week for that. And the second widely asked question is कि अगर मुझे डेटा एनालिस्ट के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है, या फिर what will you suggest अगर मेरा बैकग्राउंड डेटा स्पेसिफिक जॉब में नहीं है अभी तक, एंड आई रियली वांट टू स्विच टू दिस स्पेसिफिक डोमेन. तो टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन आई वुड से डेटा एनालिस्ट इज द राइट पाथ, नॉट डेटा साइंस, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाएगा आपके लिए फॉर द डायरेक्ट स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. डेटा एनालिस्ट से स्टार्ट करना और उसमें क्या क्या कोर रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती हैं उसके बारे में मैंने स्टेप बाय स्टेप इस वीडियो में बताया है. तो ट्राई टू लिसन दिस वीडियो, इफ पॉसिबल डॉक्यूमेंट योर लर्निंग. अगर आपको लगता है कि दिस वीडियो इज रियली हेल्पफुल, प्लीज ट्राई टू कॉमेंट दिस डाउन. Your single comment would really mean a lot to me and help me to share this video to the further wider audience, which is the end goal, right? And just make sure that at the end of the video you can just let me know if there is something which I might missed. There are people who already might have given the interviews also previously, so you can always let me know that this is something which is apart from whatever you have shared, have been asked from me as a skill set, so maybe I can incorporate that as well if I feel that this is the quite right thing and I might missed it. Okay, with that, let's get started. So now sharing my screen. So now I hope that my screen is properly visible to everyone. Let's get started, and first of all, we will try to understand what is the end-to-end pipeline of any data analyst project. And with the help of that, I will try to make you guys understand that what are the important technical requirements which anybody will have in order to enter into this specific field. तो जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट्स यू हैव एक्सप्लोर्ड सो फार या फिर आप फ्यूचर में करोगे, सो यू विल ऑब्जर्व दैट देर आर फ्यू things which are very much common in DA based projects and the data science based projects as well. So the very first thing is, whenever you will get assigned any of the project, the main focus should be to get the business understanding. क्योंकि अगर ये स्टेप ही गलत हो गया, in that case you won't be able to execute the further steps in an appropriate manner. So it's very, very important that we should be able to understand that what are the core requirements which the business is expecting from us. देखो, end goal, whether it's of any domain, is that they want to generate the revenue out of it. So whatever be the insights you are sharing as a data analyst, whatever be the recommendations you will be sharing as a DA person, those recommendations should be helpful for them in order to generate the revenue, in order to make the business overall profitable. Then only, you will be rewarded, whether it's about promotions, it's about money, and so on. So the very first thing is you have to understand the business use case. For example, if you are working in any edtech based firm, their business use case might be to sell as many courses as they can, because that is their product, right? If you are working in any e-commerce based company, so their focus will be to sell as many products, whatever be the products they have on their website. Similarly, if you're working in any healthcare based domain, their main focus is to analyze the patients in order to, get the maximum benefit from the patients in terms of money. So, in every perspective, अगर आप देखो कि हमारा core focus क्या है, our core focus is to generate the revenue out of it, right? Be it any business. Now, the second important point is, once we will be able to understand the business use case pretty well, हमारा मेन फोकस होता है डेटा को कलेक्ट करना. नाउ दिस स्टेप माइट बी इजी फॉर फ्यू प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड इट माइट बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर फ्यू अदर प्रोजेक्ट्स. अब डेटा कहाँ पर अवेलेबल है? क्या हमें वो डेटा पब्लिकली कहीं से एक्सेस करना है, या फिर इट इज अवेलेबल समवेयर इन एनी डीबी एंड वी हैव टू गो एंड एक्सेस इट फ्रॉम देयर? और कई बार डेटा कलेक्शन वाला स्टेप काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट भी हो जाता है, स्पेशली इफ यू आर वर्किंग इन अ हेल्थ केयर डोमेन, जहाँ पे हो सकता है कि आप किसी ऐसी डिजीज को डायग्नोस करने के लिए एनालिसिस कर रहे हो जो कि अभी इतनी वाइडली स्प्रेड ही नहीं है, राइट? सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन कि आप कौन सी डोमेन में काम कर रहे हो, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम यू आर ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व, दिस डेटा कलेक्शन स्टेप माइट बी ईजी और इट माइट बी डिफिकल्ट. अब जैसा कि मैंने बोला कि हो सकता है कि डेटा हमारा अवेलेबल हो किसी डेटाबेस में. आई होप एवरीबडी इज अवेयर अबाउट डेटाबेस. नाउ इफ देर इज एनीवन हु इज नॉट अवेयर अबाउट व्हाट इज डेटाबेस, now this is the very first major prerequisite or requirement for any person who wants to enter into this TA domain, कि आपको कम से कम एक डेटाबेस, जो कि आई वुड से रिलेशनल डेटाबेस के अंदर मैं इंक्लूड करूंगी, उसके बारे में आपको पता होना चाहिए. Be it any interview, I think interviewer will expect from you, at least you should know about, let's say, SQL, structured query language. Now, it's not that much difficult topic. In fact, again, just like the way I have uploaded the playlist in the comment section of data science specific roadmap video, I will upload the required playlist in this video also in the comment section and pin that. तो SQL के सारे episodes freely available हैं on my YouTube channel itself, and you can watch from episode number 1 from scratch and be in a continuity, and you will be able to understand from basic concepts of SQL till the advanced portion. तो you can cover up from there. अब databases हमारे पास बहुत सारे होते हैं. In a RDBMS also we have a different flavors of DB. But what I have covered up and what is most frequently used still by the company is MySQL. तो अगर आप एक भी कर लेते हो, so it's very easy if let's say you are entering into a company जो कि MySQL use नहीं कर रही, maybe they are using PostgreSQL, maybe they are using SQL Server, maybe they are using some different database altogether. So it's completely okay. If you know the query, it's just that a bit of changes will be there, but you will be able to easily cope up from there, right? अब ये तो हुआ डेटाबेस की बात. इसके अलावा द थर्ड स्टेप विल बी, अब हमने डेटा को कलेक्ट कर लिया, द नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या होगा? द नेक्स्ट स्टेप विल बी टू अंडरस्टैंड द डेटा. सो द नेक्स्ट कोर रिक्वायरमेंट इज वेयर वी शुड स्पेंड अ मोस्ट ऑफ आवर टाइम इज टू अंडरस्टैंड आवर डेटा इन अ ग्रेट मैनर. डेटा अंडरस्टैंडिंग का मतलब होता है कि whatever be the number of columns we have, which we in data world called as a number of features, वो क्या indicate कर रहा है? Number of records कितने? You will observe that in a lot many interviews, people usually ask that what is the data size you have ever dealt with? What is the biggest data size, right? Basically, they are trying to understand कि आपने कितना real time use cases पे काम किया है, record size कितना है, आपको कितना knowledge है उस चीज़ का, features को आपने कितने डिटेल में समझा है, right? Because whatever which features we have, whatever columns we have, it's not that every feature is very important in order to do the analysis. It might be the case that there are very few numbers of features which are not making any good informative source in order to do the analysis part. So why to take them, right? So we have different strategies to do the feature selection task, which comes under feature engineering portion, which I'll cover up later on. But anyhow, over this third step, our main focus ideally will be to understand the data. Data understanding meaning that we are over here trying to understand the columns and the rows. So columns in a data world, we call it as a features, and rows meaning we call it as the records. So we try to understand that what each and every feature indicate and how many number of records we have. Apart from this, do we have any missing values or not? Right? Do we have any missing values or not? If yes, obviously we have to handle them again in a appropriate manner. Apart from this, is there any data type mismatch is there or not? So all of criticalities we will try to understand and observe in the case of data understanding. Now once it is done, obviously it's a raw data, and at the time when we are trying to understand the data, हमें कुछ flows समझ में आ जाएंगे. And that is where the next step is doing a data cleaning. Data cleaning, or the step is called as exploratory data analysis, EDA. Now till this part of the step, you will observe that the pipeline is similar to what we have covered up in data science based projects also, right? Now over here, when you will try to do data analysis specific part, obviously in this, the very first step is data cleaning, as I was talking about. The main focus of data cleaning is to, curate a quality data. Now, it's quite obvious to say that higher the quality of the data you will be able to curate, better results, better insights, and in future, if you're trying to train the model, better, I would say, accuracy you will be able to achieve, right? Because higher the quality, higher the satisfied results you will be able to get. Now over here, when you are trying to clean the data, as you will observe that there are so many techniques we have. Maybe you might require a feature engineering to do in this specific use case. Feature engineering meaning maybe you are trying to create some new features out of the given features that we have. Just to give you one example, let's say you have been provided a column name, date of birth. Let's say it's a employee based data, and you have a column name, date of birth. Now from this date of birth, I think it would be very easy for me to fetch the age specific column, right? Because I know the current year is 2025, and maybe let's say if that person, that employee, date of birth is 1997, 1998, so easily I can do the calculations mathematically and will be able to evaluate the age of that person. And maybe DOB is not a good metric to get the insights. Rather, I will prefer age. So in feature engineering, we will try to curate some new features. We will try to select few features which are really important. The most important thing in order to do the specific task is statistics. Now, this is the another requirement. Initially, I have talked about databases, right? DB. Now, the second core requirement which I'm talking about right now is statistics, which plays a very huge role in terms of data specific roles. It's not only about data analyst, it's also about data science. I think in my previous video, which I have uploaded few days back, I have talked about how maths plays a very significant role in these projects. So when you are trying to do EDA, whether it's about doing a data imputation, whether it's about, feature engineering, whether it's about handling the outliers, if any, in your data, right? In all of these use cases, you will be able to understand, you will be able to handle these things only if you are already aware about these statistics-based concepts. So these are very, very important in order to do the specific task of EDA. In fact, at the very end, when you will try to create the visuals in the EDA part, whether it's a box plot, whether it's a scatter plot, whether it's a histogram, whether it's about understanding the data distributions, the only common thing you will find in all these things, in all these topics which I have written down over here as a list, is understanding of stats. Because anyone who is not aware about the statistical based concepts, how will that person will be able to handle these things in an efficient manner, right? So over here, the next important prerequisite is statistics, right? Now again, you will find that I have end-to-end playlist of statistics on my channel, and you can again try to start from video number 1 and go step by step ideally in order to get a better understanding of the specific concepts and stats. Now, obviously, when you are trying to work around and understand the mathematical concepts of stats, because we are working with data specific part, over here, it's not only theoretical thing. We have to implement it, right? We have to understand that how I am able to do the imputation. Okay, mathematically, I know that, if there are outliers available, I can prefer to go with median. Otherwise, I can prefer to go with mean if I am dealing with the numeric data. But how can I implement that? How can I do the imputation? Until or unless you won't be able to implement the stuff, everything, whatever you know, is not completed, right? You won't be able to implement it, you won't be able to create something out of it. So over here, when we talk about implementation, you should know about programming language. And ideally, I would say, still for 2026, I would recommend go ahead and learn Python programming. Again, you will find end-to-end playlist for that also. So over here, in Python programming, we have a lot many famous modules which are specifically designed to do the task which is related to DA and data science, right? To do this EDA specific part. So over here, we have understood that databases are important, specifically in databases, MySQL, SQL commands. I'm talking about Python programming in order to implement this stuff, statistics in order to do the EDA specific part. Now, once it is done, the next part is, once we do EDA in an appropriate manner, we gain some insights. And after that, over here, we need to create some reports, some visuals in order to communicate those insights. So communication with stakeholders is very important step. And usually we think that, only if we know technical stuff in a great manner, it's a very big job we are doing. No. Right now, currently, if you will ask me, out of these steps, what is actually the most important step is to showcase your work in an efficient way. You are spending a lot of time, almost a month, I would say, in order to complete a single project in the company, right? And you will be appreciated only when you will be able to explain your deliverables, explain your work in a detailed manner, in an efficient way. Otherwise, no one will appreciate your work, right? If you don't know how to communicate that work in an efficient manner. And that is where there are multiple ways to do it. Maybe you can create some presentation and you can share the insights over there. The better idea could be, which usually the DA people usually follow, is to create proper reports, to create proper dashboards. So reporting and creating a dashboards out of it is another interesting thing which you can do. And for that, we have some business intelligence tools. You must have heard about Power BI. You must have heard about Tableau, right? Now, I'm not saying that both of them you should learn. Maybe in the starting, in order to prepare for the interviews, you can start with Power BI. And again, if you feel that in your company where you are starting working with, Tableau is something which they're using quite frequently and they're expecting from you as well, they will give you enough time in order to learn that. And it's like, if you know one thing, it's very easy to learn the another thing as well, right? So you should be flexible enough. But as a starting point, I would suggest that go with Power BI, learn how to do data transformation, creating the visuals, reports, dashboards via Power BI, right? Now over here, once you will be able to learn these things, the only thing which is left is when you will get the data, most probably the data will be available in the Excel form. So you should know that Excel tool also. It's very interesting, very important to know. It's not only about, I would say, in the professional world of data analyst or data science. It's also about in personal, work also. For example, currently, whatever work in terms of managing the finances I'm doing via Excel. So it's very important to have this knowledge as well. So in terms of tools, I have talked about only two tools which you should know, Excel and Power BI. In terms of technical part per se, I have talked about SQL. I have talked about Python programming. I have talked about stats. I have talked about that you should have a good communication skills also in order to explain your work. These reports and dashboards are the ways to make you more confident. But obviously, you have to speak. So now you can ask me that, Priya, I'm not that much good in communication part. How can I improvise on it, right? So the only thing is you should start communicating with your friends, with your colleagues, and you should start explaining whatever knowledge you have in terms of concepts, in terms of project work, whatever you are doing in the college, in your company's work. You should be voluntary enough ki, let me do it, let me explain it, right? Then only you will be able to have that confidence that you should be able to explain in front of the stakeholders as well, which is very, very important thing to do, right? So these are the things which I definitely feel are the core requirements. Now on top of it, if you know something extra, for example, if you know about machine learning stuff, if you know about generative AI stuff, it's like very good thing, right? On top of it, you can learn a lot of additional things which are currently going on. You should know about what is happening in the industries, different industries working in which specific product, which specific domain. All of those things are the extras, but these are the major prerequisites which I am expecting for anyone who wants to enter into the domain of data analyst, right? And it's not that much difficult, to be very frank. It's been almost, I would say, 5 years of teaching this DA part to my learners, and I have seen a lot of learners who were having the career gaps, who were not from the technical background at all, who were the freshers. All of them, I think I have covered a few of the episodes live with them on my YouTube channel as well. You can go and check that out also. So what I'm trying to convey over here is that, be it any background, whether you have a career gap, whether you are from a non-technical background, whether you are a fresher, whether you want to switch your domain, or you're currently working in this domain but you want to get into some other company which is quite good. So in all of these use cases I'm talking about, it's very easy to do, right? The good thing is that in this specific job, people are not expecting you to know, core coding work. And in fact, you don't do that much code work also, to be very frank. If you know basic idea about Python programming, also one important thing is the DSA. So not every company, but the companies which are ideally MNCs or I would say comes under the category of tier 1 and tier 2, they're expecting DSA also to know, not the startups. But if you know that, it's again a good thing to do. But ideally, you should have this knowledge in a technical world of data analyst in order to crack any job in the upcoming year 2026, right? Now, apart from this, let's suppose you have all the technical knowledge, you have ideally followed all the paths which I have shared, but still you are like, I'm not getting a job. And even if I'm getting a calls of the interviews, I'm not able to crack it. The only thing which you might be lagging after this is the project creation. So you should be focusing on creating generalized projects. What is the meaning of generalized projects? Meaning that maybe you can work around those problems which are common in all the domains. As I have mentioned at the starting of the video, that we have different domains, maybe edtech firm, maybe healthcare, maybe fintech. So over there, it's not that we know right now that in which specific company we will get finalized. So over there, it's better idea that you can work around with the projects which are common for all the domains. For example, there is a very interesting project of customer churn. Now, this is a problem churning is a problem which is quite common for all the use cases. Any business who is creating any of their product, they really want that their customers to retain. And if you do this kind of analysis, this kind of project, if you will be able to create, obviously you will be able to shine in your resume, right? Apart from this, maybe now you are saying that, I have created 2 or 3 projects ideally, and still I'm not able to get calls, or if I'm getting a call, I'm not able to getting selected. So another reason could be that you're not able to again showcase their showcase your portfolio. Now, right now in this year or in the upcoming year, I don't feel that we have a limited opportunities. It's just that we are not looking onto it, right? We have a lot many platforms where you can start showcasing your work. If let's say you have created any project, you should start highlighting that project maybe on your GitHub profile, first of all. Secondly, now how someone will direct towards your GitHub? Obviously, you should be very much active on LinkedIn or Twitter, right? These two are the really good platforms where you can start posting your work, you can start posting your thoughts, you can start posting whatever new work you are doing, because that is where maybe the recruiters, maybe the HRs, maybe the leads, maybe the managers will look onto your work, and you don't even know whosoever will like your work, might be that person will reach out to you. You should have that updated profile in your GitHub or in your LinkedIn or in your Twitter. You can refer your email ID or your phone number so that anyone can reach out to you very easily. So all of these things are quite important in order to showcase whatever work you are doing currently, whether it's in your company or it's your own personal work, whatever be the case is, right? So please make sure that you will follow these specific things, and I'm really hopeful that you will be able to get a job, whatever you are expecting in the upcoming year, and you should start preparing accordingly. Still, if you have any questions, anything which unintentionally I have left in this video, you can let me know in the comment section, and I'll definitely read the comment and respond to you. With that, bye bye everyone, all the very best, and see you in the next video.